Hey guys, Greg with PlanetGreenZen.com, and I'm here with my friend Lien.
Hi, Craig.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, what I want to do is actually just keep evolving myself and keep trying new things, and just go from there. Just let destiny take its course. And I wanted to actually interview Lane because she's a very good friend of mine, and she's very intelligent, very smart, very wise. When she speaks to you guys, you'll be like, "Wow, I don't even know what to say now. Your brain hurts because it's so much wisdom that she speaks into you." So I just wanted to interview her and just ask her a few quick questions. So for the viewers out there, if you guys get this video, you listen to this interview, hopefully it inspires you to just do something else with your life. Again, that hamster wheel, I always talk about that mundane hamster wheel life that we're all taught to live. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? And yeah, just a little bit about yourself.
My name is Lien Pham. I have a background in biology. I study neuroscience, and now I'm getting my master's in cognitive science and in integrative psychology.
Awesome, great. And we had dinner a little while back, and something that you said to me that actually made me think. We were speaking about just educators and just gurus and things like that, and you
Hmm.
had mentioned that the hottest thing now is that people pay other people to think for themselves.
It's true.
And I was like, wow, that actually made me think. So can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, what did you actually mean by that?
Nowadays, a lot of people pay coaches or counselor or psychiatrists or psychologists to tell them how to think. So that way they're not responsible for them. If they happen they're wrong, they can just easily point finger and saying, well, I did what my psychiatrist told me, but it's wrong. Or I did what my counselor told me, and it's wrong. It's easier to blame another person than it is to take our own responsibility for our own thoughts and our own actions and our own emotions.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's very powerful, guys, because it got me thinking that hey, you see all these courses out there and all these people on YouTube, and again, not saying that any of that stuff's bad because I know some people can say, hey, I did use this and it helped me and I became a multimillionaire, and that's great. But again, there's so much of that stuff out there to where we just forget sometimes to stop and think and use our own mind. Say, hey, well, I'm gonna use this as maybe a baseline, or fill in the blanks here and there, but there's still the portion where you need yourself actually need to think and evolve yourself and do what you are meant to do and not necessarily just follow someone 100%. You can have an inspirer, somebody that's your hero or a role model, but at the end of the day, you still have to develop your own plan and your own life choices and not just rely on somebody else, or follow something that's 100% verbatim to where you kind of lose your own thought and your own personality in whatever you're doing, whether it's a course or a book or something like that. Would you kind of agree with that? Do you have any more feedback
No,
about
it's
that?
true. Nowadays, people are looking for that secret recipe where they say, if I do all these things on a checklist, I should be able to reproduce the exact same result as whoever it is who created the recipe for me. But the true actual reality is that people are not cookie cutters. No one is the same. So even if you follow the exact recipe or the to-do list, you still are influenced by your own creation of one, your internal thoughts and your internal environment. And the other one is you're still being influenced and being pulled by external environments. So the recipe are not meant for everyone. It was designed for whoever it is create that recipe for themselves. But if you're going to follow that recipe, make sure that it fits within the way you think, within the way you live, and especially within the way who you are.
Thank you. Awesome. And also, are you from Arizona? Did you relocate here? Um, just a little bit more about yourself so people can know who you are.
I originally was raised in San Francisco area, in Newark more precise. I lived in San Diego for a while. I used to work in a cancer research lab and also in fetal DNA research. And recently I moved here to Arizona. I have my own practice here in Arizona to help people to understand their thoughts and their emotions. At the same time, again, like I said, I'm getting my master's in integrative psychology.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And yeah, that's some powerful information, guys. Like every time I speak to her, just like brain overload. I got to go home and download everything and digest it and take notes because she speaks a lot of power and wisdom. So I appreciate that. And yeah, another question I have for you is why do you think that? Because again, me, I have this channel and I have a blog because I
Yeah.
just personally want to inspire people to just either do what they feel they're meant to do or just again get out of that hamster way of thinking. So I have a question. Why do you think it is that a lot of people just stay content with what they're doing in life, even though they may think that they're meant for more, but they just kind of just live that mundane roller coaster, their mundane, what wave? Why do you think people do that?
One word: fear. The fear of unknown. When you are living inside your fear, you know exactly what you expect, and you know how to control that fear. You know what's going to coming at you, so it gives you a false sense of control. If you push out that fear, push out that comfort zone, now you're entering into the unknown. What if you're wrong? That's the biggest fear everybody has. What if we're wrong? What if there's nothing more than to this fear, to this contentment? So I'm better off to be content to where I am because I know exactly what's going on and I know exactly how to respond to that. Rather than go out there and dealing with the unknown, dealing with something I'm not used to. And the biggest problem is that working through the pain. It's painful to be outside the comfort zone. And it's more painful to work through your fear. And those pain can be crippling people. So it's better off to deny our pain, to hide from our pain, and to revert our pain than it is to work through our pain.
Wow, powerful. Thank you. Yeah, just to add on to that, because if you guys are not familiar with what a paradigm is, pretty much a paradigm is a multitude of habits that we develop over time. Typically, when we are kids and go to school or we speak to our parents and cultures and ancestry, all that kind of passes down to us from generation to generation. Then we get stuck in this fear and comfort zone. And before you know it, it's like, wow, is this my whole life? Is there no more to what I'm meant to do? Because, hey, my mom, this is all that she did, this is all my grandparents did, this is all that their grandparents did, so am I meant to do the same thing? When you have a burning desire for something more, a definiteness of purpose, like Napoleon Hill says, I just believe that once you recognize what your purpose is or that you want more in life, you just will develop that, speak to infinite intelligence of the universe, because I'm really big on developing your subconscious mind. I still have a lot to learn. Lien teaches me a lot about my subconscious mind and things that I never even would think to ask myself. So I believe we need to ask ourselves more questions, as you told me once, and that's starting to help me out a lot just by asking yourself more questions. And what do you think what people would get out of asking themselves more questions, like speaking to themselves? Usually you hear someone say, "Hey, I'm talking to myself." You say, "Hey, as long as you don't answer yourself, you're okay. You're not crazy." But what is your opinion on actually speaking to yourself, ask yourself questions?
We actually have two selves. We have our physical self, and then we have our spiritual self, just like you're talking about the paradigm. If you're looking at it, you're looking at a pie, which is a whole. There's only a slice, a very small, thin slice that we know what we know. And there's a bigger chunk of the pie that we know what we don't know. But there is a huge chunk of it we don't know what we don't know. And you don't know that you don't know it. And that's where the whole paradigm come in. Is how do you change what you don't know? How can you live with what you don't know? You only can change what you know. So by asking yourself questions is allowing your two different sides, your spiritual side and your physical side, to get to connect to each other. And that is a very powerful thing, because then you get to know what you don't know. Then you get to explore your fear. And to go back to the whole paradigm is, well, this is all I know. Can I do more than what I don't know? So allowing yourself to be connected within yourself, both mentally, emotionally, and body, which is called mind-body connection in science term, or we call it spiritual connection in the spiritual world, is allow our mind, our heart and our spirit connect to each other, then you can learn to think more about each other. Yes, there's a joke in psychology that you can talk to yourself, just don't answer yourself. Then you're crazy because now you're falling into a realm of schizophrenia, which is hearing a voice inside your head. In spirituality, though, your spirit is always talking to you, constantly. We're not trained to listen to our spirit. We never had. We don't know how. Our parents don't know how. So by entering in that world, now we don't want to look crazy when we talk to your friends saying, oh yeah, I have a conversation with my spirit. What the hell? What did you smoke? Are you on drugs? Right? So, but the idea is come from get to know yourself as how are your thoughts? Why are you thinking that way? How are you feeling that way? What tensions are coming up? From what part of your body? Your thoughts are actually your spirit also talking to you in that form. Your emotion is what your spirit is trying to convey to you. If your fear come up, then have a conversation with yourself, allowing yourself to recognize where is this fear coming from? What triggered this fear? And how is it my body is reacting to this fear? Am I tense of the fear? Am I anxiety? Am I nervous? Am I fidgeting? Those are the questions. Those are also the answers that you are also answering for yourself too.
Awesome, thank you. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I don't want to overload your minds with too much information. Just want to plant small seeds here and there, just to so you guys can grow those and evolve them yourself. Thank you, Lien, for coming on my channel today. I really appreciate it. It was an honor.
And thank you. It's a pleasure just talking to you and talking to you out there.
So if you guys want to learn more from Lien and connect with her, she has a lot. This is just a small piece of the information she has, a small piece. If you want to connect to her, I'll have her information in the description below. You go ahead and click on that and connect to her directly. If you want to read more inspirational blogs by me that are meant for mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, socially, go ahead and planetgreens.com will be in the description below. But thank you guys for your time, and we will definitely have more of these. This was fun, and have a great night.
You too. Good night.
Bye-bye.